Alright, people, so I really watched for hours, probably like 2, 3 hours. I don't know how long today, but I watched. Um, it was a live feed from Infowars.com. They had Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson there live streaming for quite a long time. I mean, I started around 9 and watched till about 12, so probably like 2.5 hours because I did take some breaks, 2 to 3 hours. I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, but point is, I watched a lot of the shit that was going on there. I mean, just a lot of fucking crazy ass protesters. In in this situation, in my opinion, I think the protesters are in the wrong, but I also think the police are in the wrong too. But let's start off with the protesters first. I mean, it's just common sense. I don't want to touch on this too long. We know that a lot of the I shouldn't even call them protesters because I was watching too, and Leanne McAdoo on Infowars made a good point. They're calling these people protesters, but they're not. They're rioters or fucking lunatics. All right, because if you call them protesters, that's really demonizing actual peaceful protesters who are trying to push a message across unviolently. So anyway, I mean, we all know these rioters are wrong. Going around burning shit and burning businesses, like, this isn't going to help fix the situation. So I don't want to touch on that too much because we know these rioters are bad. We know they're bad, so I don't want to spend the whole video on that. We already know that they're not good people and they should not be doing this. But why is this situation being? It's clearly people are trying to stir shit up. The government, mainstream media is trying to stir the thing up, and to make everybody riot. I mean, you got fucking, police with fucking, even post, even pre, these riots started. I mean, I heard they still had riot gear, and they still had, I heard they were arresting a journalist for just peacefully doing nothing, pretty much. So, I mean, the cops in a way did, provoke this kind of anger because even before the previous protests, I mean, they were taking down Al Jazeera's camera set for just recording, violation of the First Amendment right there. And right now, in the protests, are there bad people? Yeah, there are bad people. But the cops should be taking care of those bad people. I'm watching the live stream and I didn't see one person get arrested. None. I see there's a ton of fucking police. There's all this police all over the fucking place. Joe Biggs, who was there, is like, from Infowars, he's like, this is the most police I've ever seen in my life. He said something like that. And then they show this fucking store, this liquor store, and there's tons of people going in there just taking out shit. Where are the fucking police? They're too busy telling people to get out of the road. Don't pay attention. Yeah, people shouldn't be in the road, but there's bigger issues than people in the road. Go take care of the looters. Go take care of the fucking people that are burning shit down. Don't worry about the motherfucking people in the road. There's tons of police, but I see all these people. I hear gunshots going off. Go after those people. Don't go after the people in the street. Don't worry about. They're like, oh, stand back. They're putting up barricades and shit. You have a First Amendment, even though there's violent people. Alright? It doesn't matter. If there are violent people, the cops should take care of those violent people. They shouldn't randomly throw tear gas into people, into the crowds, and just tear gas innocent people. Because we have something that's called, I got it somewhere, my Constitution book. I believe it's in my fucking... I'll actually read the First Amendment to you people, if I could find my book here. Now I got it somewhere. Here we go. Let me look up the First Amendment here, if I could find it. The Bill of Rights. Article 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press. Press. That means people can go around filming. It's actually what the press is supposed to do. If you didn't know, go around filming the government, making sure they don't do anything tyrannical. Being the watchdog of the government, or going around filming important events. That's the point of the press. And the press have freedom of press and speech and everything else. So it's not the right move to throw tear gas. I see Fox is just calling it like pepper spray or something. Like, no, it's tear gas, people. Tear gas. It's not pepper, whatever. It's not pepper shit, alright? Let's call it what it is. So you got all these cops going around, like making a barricade in the street. Like when there's fucking telling people to get out of the street, which I mean they should, but there's bigger issues going along around. I mean it's sick. You got all these people fucking burning shit down, stealing, knocking out windows of businesses, but why aren't the cops going after those people? And just because there's rioters, just because there's bad people, again, does not mean I get my First Amendment taken away. Alright? Just because I'm associated, even if there's a protest of 100 people, and there are some bad people in that protest, it does not mean that whole group collectively gets tear gassed. No! The police go after. There's tons of police. You obviously got enough equipment. You're fucking basically the military. And I agree that when there's a bad situation like that, the police should be armed to deal with it adequately, but they should not attack everybody. Alright, so go in, take care of the rowdy people, and arrest them. Send their asses to jail. Alright? So, but again, the protesters are, a lot of the rioters are in the wrong. And that's just common knowledge. We know that they shouldn't be burning down buildings. If you actually, and again, they make a big deal out of this Michael Brown thing, just like they did Trayvon Martin. But why are we making a big deal out of legitimate police brutality? Like, they made a big deal about this case when the cop looks justified in what he did. He looks justified. I guess you could make an argument, maybe not, but he looks justified in what he did. I don't know. I guess you could call it questionable, but chances are he's justified. The Supreme Court, the court ruled he was innocent. They didn't indict him. So, but why aren't we making a big deal out of confirmed acts of police brutality, like the man that was killed in the mountains for basically illegally camping? Or, there's tons of other acts of police brutality where people are shot and killed for bullshit reasons. And the cop you could pretty much call that murder or manslaughter. But we make a big deal out of this case in which the cop is probably justified. So, we just got, clearly they want this to escalate. They're clearly wanting this to escalate. If you just look at everything that's happening with the cops, just attacking innocent people, attacking the press, they're not doing anything to stop it. And if you look at when the verdict came out, at night, I don't think if they would have announced it at like 4, like in the morning sometime, I don't think there would have been as big a protest. But they announced it at night when there's probably going to be more protests. And why didn't they announce it? Somebody else brought up a good point. You have a right to a fair and speedy trial. It's in the Constitution. This didn't really seem speedy to me. I don't know, though. I wasn't in the courtroom, so I shouldn't even talk about that. But they had a period right there where it was really cold, and they didn't. I don't know if it was ready or not. But if the verdict was ready, you should have announced it when it was really cold. And that probably would have deterred the protesters. But I think it's warmer there now, so Again, I think they're wanting this to escalate to. They're sending all the militarized police there beforehand to get people mad, to get people angry. They're promoting it on the. They're promoting it on the media. It's a big build up to it, and it's just fucking. They're using this to promote the police state. They could be using it for a lot of things. Promote the police state, distract from Obama's immigration. I don't know, but it's just a mess right now. The rioters are in the wrong. The police are in the wrong a little bit. Actually, a lot of it, I think, they're in the wrong. And it's just a fucking war zone right there. There's fires. There's buildings being burned down. Just fucking, it's a fucking mess. Alright? And, you feel bad for actually people there who have businesses, and their businesses might be destroyed by fucking jackasses running around, burning shit to the ground. Think they're fucking cool. You're not fucking cool. You're fucking morons. Alright? You're fucking goddamn morons who don't have fucking a brain. Alright, people? So, again, the police are in the wrong. The rioters are in the wrong. The people who promoted it are in the wrong. Like all these race baiters like Al Sharpton, who just takes every chance to get to divide our country racially. Listen, Al Sharpton, you're a fucking douchebag who tries to, stir up all this racial bullshit. All right. Well, we know you're bullshit, and we are uniting together as one to get true freedom. Because if you try to divide us, it's not gonna. Okay, it's not gonna work, Al Sharpton. All right, you're not gonna divide us. We're gonna be united as one, and we are gonna fight you, and we are going to destroy you and all these other tyrannical, retard, communist, fascists in the world. We will unite as one, as freedom lovers seeking the truth, and we will defeat all you tyrannical retards in the end. So there you go, people. It's just a fucking mess. You got people escalating the situation on purpose. You got rioters burning shit to the ground. You got police not going after rioters. It's just a big fucking mess of just a big literal fiery ball. It's like a big fucking just horrible mess. And I'll probably make a future video on this, but there's my initial thoughts on the situation in Ferguson. So there you go, people.